Hey everyone, yeah, you better believe liberty is rising in Canada, and yes, Mad Max, Maxime Bernier, is definitely having a profound effect and playing a role in making sure that that happens. Yeah, people like myself, people like Stephen Molyneux, Victor Prost, and many other amazing liberty-loving Canadians have been out there talking about this stuff for a long time now. I know myself, it's been a decade, 10 years I've been talking about this stuff, but hey, at least someone's stepping up the plate that was at least part of the political landscape in this country, and Maxime is that one. I mean, think about it. All the political parties in Canada, of all the politicians, from one end of this country to the other, from the north to the south, and everywhere in between, from the Pacific to the Atlantic, most politicians just go along with the status quo and repeating and regurgitating political talking points that, let's just face it, it doesn't inspire anybody or anything in regards to standing up for freedom and what it even means to be a free human being. But Maxime, he was that one guy. And, apparently people like myself or people like Ron Paul or libertarian philosophy and the principles and values contained within that philosophy, yeah, apparently it's emboldened him to step up the game. And now he's gone out, created his own party. And yeah, I'm a founding member. You best believe I'm jumping on. Normally, I'm not a big fan of the political process because, once again, I recognize politics is downstream of culture. Change the culture, politics will follow. But, like I say, I don't leave any stone unturned. And just like other critical thinkers in regards to these social and economic issues that are directly affecting us and having a profound effect on our lives, as much as we like to keep a hands-off approach and just, we don't delve into politics normally, but hey, you know what? Most people, most Canadians, just like with the religious people, hey, you can try to avoid that, but if the rest of the people are promoting a particular religion, which what we're talking about today is government, if they're trying to espouse the promotion of central planning and get your morality and principles from central planners, well, yeah, you better believe we're willing to step up to the plate and push back against the political rhetoric, the political narratives that seem to dominate the day. Which is why I'm a big fan and supporter of Maxime Bernier. As far as I'm concerned, it's all about ideas. And at least when you're putting forth ideas, that's the thing. That's the beautiful thing. Whether I agree with every idea Maxime comes up with, the most important thing is that he's putting out ideas that most people in the establishment political parties or the establishment media are unwilling to even cover or allowed to propagate or be espoused throughout their institutions or their platforms. Yeah. Once again, the minute you recognize, hey, if there's somebody out there where the majority of the mob, they're trying to silence or suppress them, in the modern age, in the era that we live in, yeah, the people that are being oppressed right now, you really want to pay attention to what they're trying to say. Because chances are, they're the true proponents of liberty and freedom. Because the establishment parties, the establishment media, they are not all about expanded upon freedom. They're all about using central planning and propaganda and political narratives to maintain the status quo. Because they're the ones who have benefited from the status quo all along. He is not just appealing to the right wing, okay? That's the beautiful aspect of being a promoter of genuine liberty, both socially and economically. That's the thing. With our current political environment, it's whether it's the NDP or the Liberal or the Conservatives, it's all about whether they're promoting. So one side of the political spectrum or the political aisle, they promote more social freedoms. Whereas, the Conservatives, they espouse more economic freedoms, although what you're seeing today is neither one of them actually align or hold principled positions on what the very ideology that they espouse or they pretend to adhere to, even they don't stick to any of it. So conservatives don't even seem to be conservative of anything anymore, and liberals, well, the only thing that seems to be liberal about them is their application of authoritarianism or totalitarianism. So where you get, like, once again, everything is tossed up in the air at this point because the political structures, the establishment, the status quo, they've, like I say, they become political opportunists and they don't even stay true to their political positions or platforms anymore. Maxime said that's why he left the Conservative Party of Canada, because the Conservative Party doesn't represent the proper economic conservative values or principles that he's become accustomed to. But as someone who has libertarian-leaning principles and values, he also holds dear a lot of the social liberal values that a lot of people on the left side of the political spectrum or the left side of the political aisle hold dear and adhere to. A libertarian, that's what I keep trying to tell people all the time. No, a libertarian, that's why I get attacked by liberals and conservatives both. A libertarian is someone that basically espouses freedoms on both social and economic policies. So this is the beautiful thing about having a libertarian type political party or political leader, is you don't have to choose one or the other anymore. Right? You don't have to plug your nose and say, well, I care about fiscal responsibility, so I'll support the conservatives. Even though they destroy a lot of my social freedoms, at least they're on board and in line with me economically. And same with you liberals or people on the left or the end dippers. Listen, a lot of the stuff that Maxine espouses, a lot of things that libertarians espouse is completely in line with you. What it is just we promote and expand upon both social and economic freedoms. So it's a big tent. If you care about social freedoms and you come predominantly from the left, come on board. We're completely aligned with you. Or if you're someone that predominantly aligns with the right because you're all about economic responsibility, fiscal prudence, and accountability, and constrained government in regards to the economic policy, come on board. Or anyone in between, because that's the other thing. There's a whole cohort of Canadians, 35 to 40% of them, that don't align with either political party or either side of the political aisle, but they would be more than willing to, I expect, join in and support Maxime Bernier because he holds a principled position on both social and economic policy. No more picking the lesser of the evils, folks. Now you can pick someone that actually stands for both social and economic freedoms and doesn't cater to or bow to special interest groups. The conservatives aren't even conservative anymore. Just like the liberals aren't truly liberal in what liberalism even entails and what it means. So what it is, Maxime Bernier, once again, forget about the left-right divide. Maxime Bernier is saying, no, listen, whether you're a liberal or a conservative or an independent or just a critical thinker or a libertarian, I am the best game in town because I'm not playing the political games. I'm not saying you got to pick one side or the other. I'm not just going to give rhetoric that appeals to one particular constituency or one side of the political aisle. No, I'm all about freedom. And freedom has no political side. Like I say, freedom is something that every one of us should want to adhere to, respect, and promote. All you got to do is go to the People's Party Canada, go to the platform, and look at all the policy positions they hold. The reason why you're seeing a huge amount of applause from a lot of Canadians when you talk about reforming the CBC, or all you political propagandists who espouse leftist narratives, yeah, we all recognize, we all see it. You can try to deny it as much as you want, but it's out there, it's undeniable at this point, and there's just way too much evidence to try to pretend that it doesn't exist. Like I say, that's a reality that's on the ground. You can't nicely wrap that shit back up and shove it back in the box. No, it's out there and available for all to see. That's the thing with you political propagandists and who keep espousing these political talking points, I don't know, for some need for short-term political gain. But in the long run, you got to start thinking a little bit more medium and long-term, because yes, you might benefit in some way, in some regard, or feed your political base in some way by espousing this nonsense, but you're just losing relevance and respect from a larger and larger portion of the Canadian population. To the point where at some point in time, as you recognize now, even just regular YouTubers like myself have much more sway and influence over the Canadian people than you do. With your massive multi-million-dollar, or in regards to the CBC, $1 billion crown crony corporation. People like myself with a little YouTube channel with just a few thousand people that pay attention to it have just as much sway and influence in the culture of Canada or the political landscape in this country as these people do. And the reason why that is the difference is people see and recognize that I'm being honest, straightforward, logically and morally consistent with them, whereas you folks are just trying to offer political narratives, propaganda, and political talking points. No wonder your platforms are having less effect on the psychology or the thought process of the Canadian people. I'm very thankful that you people have become much less competent and inept at this point in time, because that has given rise to people like myself having a much larger voice than we normally would otherwise have. Your failures is my success. It's a Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.